Boris Johnson has given an interview with the Telegraph newspaper publicly calling for UK defence spending to rise from 2.3% to 3% of GDP in order to help protect Europe against Russian aggression. How very noble of him. I mean, here in the UK we're already being taxed to oblivion to prop up a failed state which is being parasitised by a DEI-poisoned, feckless, militantly unionised public sector. But why not waste more of our tax money protecting a Europe that doesn't give a toss about us from an imaginary bullshit threat of Russian imperialism? Of course, given that Boris travelled to Ukraine in 2022 and personally persuaded Zelensky not to take a peace deal that was on offer, resulting in the avoidable death or injury of hundreds of thousands more military personnel, you can't help but sense that perhaps he might have some personal financial interest in the perpetuation of this pointless, unwinnable war. Far be it from me to suggest that Boris is taking backhanders from Lockheed Martin, Raytheon or Boeing, but I wouldn't put it past the scruffy fat toe rag. Goodness knows why the Telegraph thinks the British public are remotely interested in what this monumental bellend has to say anymore. Aside from scuppering a peace deal in Ukraine, under his government we saw an unprecedented enormous surge of mass uncontrolled immigration, years of totally unjustifiable lockdowns and furlough fraud, and a catastrophic commitment to net zero, a total mishandling of Brexit, the infiltration of extreme hard-left DEI dogma into every workplace, school and university in the country. And that's just scratching the surface, isn't it? Worse than any of his cock-ups is the fact that in consequence of his disastrous run as Prime Minister, we're now stuck with Starmer's Labour, spitefully taxing us all into poverty with their barely contained utter contempt for the British people. If he had any common decency at all, Boris would apologise to everybody and disappear for a very, very long time. He presented himself as a Conservative, then governed as a high-tax, big-state Liberal. The man is a fraud and a traitor and is almost single-handedly responsible for the hideous state the country now finds itself in. On top of that, he pretty much destroyed his own party. It's very difficult to see any way back for the Conservatives, given that they seem to have entirely forgotten what Conservatism is. To all appearances, it looks like they're going to be absolutely demolished by reform at the next election, and it can't come soon enough, can it? Spring tour now on sale: Newcastle, Stafford, Chelmsford, Swindon, Southampton, Northampton, Hastings and London. Ticket link in the description. If you haven't yet subscribed to this channel, please do take a moment to do so. And if you'd like me to carry on making these videos, you can support me by clicking the thanks button at the bottom of this video, or via Patreon or PayPal by following the links in the description. Thanks for watching.